when did I care about gut health? And I didn't care about it in the beginning. The first time I cared was, hey, Andrew, it's really uncomfortable to eat all of this food to bulk. And it doesn't
Hmm.
make me feel well. So like, what do we got going on? And oh, have some of this apple cider vinegar. And like, oh, Andrew, I did this thing in my stomach and it's really bubbly. Oh, go drink this real quick. And does it get warm or does it not get warm? And like, that can tell us
Hmm.
some information. So
Hmm.
for me, it was like, okay, great. There's these simple home tests and things that I can do. Hey, Steve, what does your, bowel movement look like? Is it regular? Is it this? That it was one of those like, oh, okay, here's probably the reason why that's happening.
Hmm.
Go do this thing, and this thing, which are all $3 a day extra to handle, and I can do it on my own,
Hmm.
and I didn't need $1,000 worth of tests. Same
Yeah.
token, if on the other side it was, hey, Steve, here's likely what's going on through these basic things, you're going to need $1,000 in tests. Yeah, absolutely, all day long, because I
Hmm.
want to solve this problem. So, as a coach, when you're
Yeah.
thinking about this, people need to have a legitimate reason as to why, I believe. Now, some people don't care. They're there to do it, and your program is your program. And if that's a part of your program, cool, find those right people. But that's
Hmm.
just I just want to throw that out there from a business perspective, a little bit from a client perspective as well, seeing both sides.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot of monetization opportunities in that. And that's where I think, asking for your perspective on that, it's really important that people do the right thing for the client at the right time. Now, the question of what is the right thing, there's a certain series of screenings that you can do that escalate in cost, unless you're working with a very affluent community or demographic that, if money is no issue, then you can easily go ahead and just be like, hey, here's the battery of tests we're going to do. But for the majority of people that we will come into contact with, they will have some financial constraints. They'll have to be a little more money conscious. And so when you think about, I was taking a course, and I'll just go ahead and put it out there. I was taking the functional diagnostic nutrition course, which was a lot of advanced lab testing. And in hindsight, it was really inappropriate for me to take at the time I took it. I would generally suggest, like, if you are going to go down the diagnostic route, go look at some blood chem stuff, understand how the body works a little bit more, and then go into some of the advanced stool testing, pathogen testing, like all that other stuff. But when I'm saying that, to give you a frame of reference of how much some of this stuff costs, you can easily spend $5,000 with just an initial battery of tests and supplementation to fix the things that you're probably going to find, because most people probably have some kind of parasitic issue and some kind of, chronic inflammation. Like, those things are pretty common course these days. And so when you think about how to escalate and improve people's digestion, again, you need to understand that there are probably some basic things to look for and screen for. And when you think about going from different levels, like, obviously, if you're super stressed or someone's super stressed, that's going to change your perception of hunger. It's going to change things in the cephalic phase of digestion, which actually might alter your hunger cues. Your sleep rhythm will alter your hunger cues, right? Your traditional feeding frequency, like your circadian rhythm, all those things will change your cephalic phase of digestion. And that's why I think it's important that coaches don't just look at what time of day, like what are the macros. There's also how you're consuming food, which the first time I ever heard this, I want to credit like James Fitzgerald over at OPEX Fitness. Phenomenal. Like, I was a genius when it came to all things fitness, and he did a good job integrating these other elements into it. But he brought up this term called food hygiene, which isn't even necessarily what you're consuming, but the mindful nature of which you are consuming it. And it wasn't until like 2 or 3 years ago, probably close to a decade after I heard it, that it clicked of the way that you consume food is probably most affecting both your cephalic, or your first phase of digestion, as well as your second phase and your gastric phase of digestion, where your stomach is now having to increase how much stomach acid circulating to chemically break down that food that you're consuming. So, all that to say, to make this a little more tactical and a little less like esoteric, here are the things that you want to look for as it relates to stomach and or small intestine symptoms that frankly might be common, but they're not normal, right? You might see them, you might feel them regularly. However, an increased prevalence of that without any kind of relief over time might lead to some serious health complications. And they're an indication that you want to probably get something checked out.